Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment.
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start first this week. And I went to go see the blockbuster film Barbie. Yeah, so it is knocking records out of the park. I think this is like one of the biggest movie premiere weekends ever. Something crazy like that they were saying between Barbie and Oppenheimer. So it was Barbenheimer, I think is what everybody, that's what everybody was calling it. And so, basically they were saying like how much how much money the movie made. And they were like, oh, it's about 150 something million dollars. And then they were like, oop, we messed up the projections. It's probably closer to 160 something million. Then now they're saying that the box office, is basically at $200 million. So I was like, wow. And then Oppenheimer is at 100 million, which two movies could not be any different, by the way.
Yeah.
Like one's about nuclear bombs, the other one's about women in pink. So there you go. So anyway, what happened is that, let me go through the cast. So the cast is of, Margot Robbie, of course, as Barbie. Well, one of the Barbies, I guess I should say. There's a lot of Barbies in here. Issa Rae is a Barbie who's the president of Barbie Land. You have Kate McKinnon, who's a Barbie. You have Emma Mackey's a Barbie. You have, what's funny is that they have all these different Barbies. Dua Lipa is a Barbie. Who else? Ryan Gosling, however, is a Ken. So Ryan Gosling is Ken, along with Simu Liu is Ken. You have Kingsley Ben-Adir is Ken. So they have a lot of Kens, a lot of Barbies. You have John Cena as a Ken. You have
John Cena. I didn't even know he was
and you
in the
have
movie.
Michael Cera as Alan. Like, it's so funny. Like, there's all these Kens in Barbie
Alan.
Land, and Barbie's like, "Hi, Ken. Hi, Ken. Hi, Ken. How Alan?" And it's like,
Who's Alan?
yeah, and they were like, yeah, that's the thing. So it's funny because they have all these little Easter eggs that are like, oh yeah, they made an Alan one time. And so that's Alan.
Okay.
So, and then it's like, oh, they made Midge. So it was like, oh, Midge was the pregnant Barbie. So therefore they show Midge, they show Skipper. It's like all of remember Skipper? So they have all of these different
Did they have the kids
Barbies.
in there too?
I don't know. Like, I'm reading the cast right now of hundreds of people, basically. Yeah. And they have, like, the Teen Talk Barbie. I don't remember seeing that Barbie. Oh, okay. But they were just, like, basically, there's, like, all these different Barbies and Kens. You have the earring magic Ken. That was a thing. The sugar daddy Ken. That was a thing.
What?
But the sugar daddy Ken walked around with a dog named Sugar. So he was the daddy of sugar.
Get out of here. I love the puns. Okay.
It was just, but it's real. Like, there really
I know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Sugar Daddy Ken
but
is the way they're making it sound.
Sugar Daddy, though.
That's what it made it sound like, that's what is Sugar's daddy, Ken.
Sugar's daddy.
But it was called Sugar Daddy. Yeah, I guess that's what they were trying to do. I don't know. But anyway, so the movie was cute. It's about an hour and a half or so with previews. Just plan on being there 2 hours. So I saw it opening weekend. I really enjoyed watching it. I went to the theater just on a whim. I was like out and about, running errands, doing things. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go look at the Barbie movie. I'm out. It's opening weekend. It would be good to talk about for the podcast, all of that. So I get there, not realizing that everybody would be wearing pink.
Oh, yeah. People are dressed up for this. Like...
Not realizing I had on pink.
Oh.
I had no idea. So I was like, okay, in a way, I am mortified that I'm wearing pink, but in a way, I guess I'm kind of fitting in because I'm wearing pink. So that was an interesting thing. I was like, and I don't have much pink. You can attest to that.
Yeah, that's
so
weird.
It just happened to be that day. No, but it was like, you're in the theater and there's men in pink, there's women in pink, there's girls in tutus, there's tiaras, there's crowns, there's like, it's a production, of people who, are going to see the movie, which was awesome, lucky for the little girls to go see Barbie in real life, a real life action
we never had that
Barbie.
No,
we didn't have that. I don't even know if we had a Barbie cartoon. There was no Barbie.
There were Barbie movies that came out, but they were like,
anywho.
Dumb.
All right, so then a lot of dancing sequences, songs. Ken sung the most songs in it, and I'm going to do it no spoilers. Like it's not going to be Ryan Gosling can. Okay. He was the one who probably sung the most songs. It was one of those things that while you're watching it, it's so corny. It's like so corny, but at the same time, it was entertaining. Like I found the Ken songs to be actually rather entertaining and funny. Okay. They did make some jokes that were more adult than I was anticipating because it's PG-13, so it was a lot more that would have went over kids' heads anyway. And I'm sure there were plenty of things that we probably looked at as kids and it would go over. The parents would get it, but the kids wouldn't, kind of scenario. But that kind of stuff, because it was like, I'll beat you real good. But it was about the beach, like being on the beach, and they were getting ready to fight. So it was like, beach, I'm going to beat you. And beach. And he was just like, okay.
Was there genital talks in this movie?
Yes.
Okay, I heard there was genital talks in this movie.
Yeah, it's more so about there not being any.
Yeah. That's
that's kind of what it is. So because it's supposed to be true to form, like how in the commercial where you'll see in the trailer, she steps out of her shoe and she's on her tippy toes because Barbie never could put her feet flat. Yeah. And that's basically what the movie is about. Barbie wakes up one morning from her perfect world of everything going her way and perfect in Barbie land that is a separate universe from the real world. Okay. And they know about the real world. They've heard about the real world. They're like, oh yeah, we have made everything wonderful in the real world for women. They are astronauts and because we have that here. So they're presidents and astronauts and this and that and, doctors and lawyers and, this and that, like every single possible thing. So it's like men aren't worthy. The women run everything. And they're thinking because it's that way in Barbie land, then it's that way in the real world. So when Barbie wakes up one morning and realizes that everything is warped and that she is no longer having her toast pop out of the toaster and land right on her plate, or her water is not perfectly temperatured and her feet are flat. Like that's the part that got everybody. They were like, they're flat. They can't believe it. So she has to go to, I guess you could say, the most jacked up Barbie in the land, which happens to be Kate McKinnon. And they said, oh yeah, she was roughhoused. Like her Barbie owner roughhoused her. And they were like showing, markers and colored hair and all this. And so based on that, Kate McKinnon.
Did you ever have a Barbie that was like that? That you did anything to it?
I never cut my Barbie's hair. Yeah,
heck no, because I think we would have gotten in massive trouble.
Yeah, I think for how much Barbies were, our mom would have killed us.
You ain't getting not nail one Barbie ever again.
Yeah. So basically, because she has the flat feet and things aren't going her way, Kate McKinnon says, "Look, you have the option. This is all on the commercial trailer. You have the option. Do you want to choose the high heel and go back and never know what's going on in the real world? Or do you want these like Birkenstocks that you can go put on and then therefore you can go to the real world?" And she was like, the heel. I want the heel. I don't care about the real world. I just want to go back, just fix what's going on. And she was like, no, you got to take, the Birkenstocks. So basically she goes to the real world, and that's really where the whole story takes place. So the other character in here is America, who is from Ugly Betty. And
America
Ferrera. Yep. So she actually plays an adult in the real world with her daughter. And so you find out how all of them interconnect and engage with each other when she's in the real world. You have Will Ferrell, who he's in the real world, and he is supposed to be the head of Mattel. Now, can I tell you, I don't know how Mattel signed off on this, because they basically have this whole boardroom of white men telling Barbie what to do or how Barbie needs to look and what things little girls want for Barbie. And it's like a whole group of men. Like, is that possible? And they're like, we know it best. We know it better than anybody. And it's like, seriously, really? So when they find out that Barbie is actually in the real world and it had only happened once before, that's where they're like starting this whole process. And again, in the commercial of them trying to find Barbie and running around in America I guess America's, I can't think of what her character's name is, but she's trying Gloria, thank you. Gloria is trying to help Barbie to kind of pursue her purpose and get what she wants. So the interesting thing, and I won't give anything away because it's all too new, but it's a real play on feminism, sexism, male patriarchy. It's got a lot going on in it. It's a lot. That's all I can say. Okay. Like it's got a storyline, and it just speaks to women's rights, things that women can or can't do, whether it's in Barbie Land or if it's in the real world, how men are viewed in Barbie Land and how they're viewed in the real world. And again, how, they feel like everything that's stereotypically male that they see in the real world
is actually all female in Barbie Land.
It's all female in Barbie Land, so it's just really blowing everybody's mind. Like, it blows Ken's mind, it blows Barbie's mind, and it's like
men are doing
what
this?
is actually going on? And so, and Ken, you start to realize that maybe he feels like he's a second fiddle to Barbie. Like, I'm always pining after you. Yeah. When are you going to fall in love with me? Why am I always here for you? And it basically, the first 5 seconds, it's like Kens don't get any attention until Barbie gives Ken attention. Oh, okay. Which is true, because it's basically the girls holding the Barbie up against the Ken, kind of scenario. Yeah. And like, Ken's over in the corner while Barbie's going off and going to work and being a mom or doing whatever. But then when Barbie decides to give Ken attention, then Ken can come into the picture, like a girl playing with two dolls, kind of scenario. So it was a good, cute movie. I would say, if you have children, even if you don't, I think it's entertaining enough that it'll keep even the parents' attention. Have a good storyline, and you'll get all the double entendres that the kids won't. You'll get the jokes that the kids won't, that they've put in there. But I personally think that it's a possible watch.
I heard from a TikToker who does a lot of movie stuff that there is an Easter egg in the Barbie movie.
An Easter egg. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like there could be plenty.
No, this one is about, like, it's something you would only know if you had these dolls. So apparently the Bratz dolls are in the movie. Oh. So the girls that are sitting at the cafeteria lunch table that don't like Barbie, they're all the name of the Bratz dolls.
I didn't realize, because I didn't know anything about the Bratz. That was after my time.
And that makes sense, because it's like, after Barbie, then what? You got the stylish Bratz.
And they were very like, who are you? Yeah, like, and what if? Very Valley girly, very, like Cher and her friends, or Mean Girls or something. It was definitely Mean Girls.
Regina
more than
George,
anything.
absolutely.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, that was one of the Easter eggs that was in there. So
see, I didn't have one of those dolls. I really don't know anything about the Bratz dolls.
Oh yeah, they're just basically is a whole bunch of mixed dolls. I don't think that. I think there might have been a white one. I don't know, but I think all of them.
Everybody was
usually had like some kind of
race or something.
Some kind of color to them. I don't
people of color dolls. Okay, interesting. So cool. So now, why they had to be Bratz though?
Because they were little brats. Because they were like, they had cell phones and they had like purses and everything. It was basically like Clueless.
They're bougie,
but
bougie
but they were not. They were more like punky.
Because and that's what I was gonna say. They had them dressed like in the black, not quite goth.
But punk.
So now I could get that now. I see. Okay, I'm sure there were probably multiple ones in there. I just don't know enough about the Barbie culture.
I'm pretty sure more and more are gonna come out.
Yeah, and plus, like I said, some of the things they just were like, well, people might not get this, so let's explain. Like, it's literally like, oh, hey, Midge, Mattel came out with a Midge doll that was pregnant one time. Something like that. Like, this is true. Some of that stuff they're just like telling you in your face, and then other stuff it's like, what are you looking at? Yeah, exactly. So the other thing I was going to say is that because of the fact that the movie is doing so well, guess what? A lot of other movies they're talking about making, like other dolls, toys, something. So they're like, Rock'em Sock'em Robots might come out, or something.
I feel like Real Steel was basically Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
I was thinking that exact same
thing. But it's just the only thing is just that you're not,
or whatever.
But you're not actually like fighting, but you're using the controls to fight or whatever.
But they're like, could there be a Hot Wheels movie? Like different things that Mattel already owns that they might want to. Hungry Hippos. I don't know. Just whatever.
It should be a Monopoly movie. Monopoly's been around for 900 years.
And they also said maybe there could be a Magic 8 Ball or a Uno movie. And I was like, how do you make an 8 Ball or Uno movie? I just don't. You just do it for money.
I think the 8 Ball movie would be the Magic 8 Ball is just always upset about his life. Because why he's being used by everyone.
Yeah.
And then after that, then later on, the end of the movie is going to be he's going to use his Magic 8 Ball to do good for some child. And that's going to be the whole movie.
Or the movie could just be about using Magic 8 Balls and, every single decision a person makes in their life is about a Magic 8 Ball.
Oh, that would be good too. That would actually be a good Black Mirror.
Ooh.
Magic 8 Ball, but then it's not the same answers that you would get from a normal Magic 8 Ball. It would be like twisted.
It'd be twisted answers. Like
okay,
American Horror Story.
Guys, you hear it here first. Okay, Sestra-Tainment is coming to you with a future
idea
for
we need to keep this stuff to ourselves.
Well, I mean, if we have it recorded.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you can't.
On what date? In July.
I mean,
right.
I feel like you can't say that we didn't say this.
Yeah, we said it. You
got to show me the date that y'all started work on this before we said it. Okay?
Facts. We want our cut. Yeah,
absolutely.
We're gonna be looking for it.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, anywho, good point. So, but that's what I had. So, Barbie movie, check it out. Take a kid.
Yeah,
I went by myself as an adult. So
a lot of adults went by themselves.
Yeah,
and a lot of them looked like Barbie. I saw that somebody was in like New York and was like, I guess this guy was like a designer, so he ended up having ladies stand like in the park, like they were Barbie. So it was like one of them is like looks like a stewardess, so she's just standing there with like her hat, like she's about to tip her hat with it. So it was like, oh, okay, so everybody's really into this Barbie movie. Yeah. I saw that it was going to be a Barbie movie like maybe 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. Didn't hear about anything before then.
It was stuff talked about for years leading up to this Barbie movie.
Nothing, my algorithm on my phone says nothing about Barbie. Okay.
Oh, no, I don't see it on my phone.
I have trucks.
Okay.
I have cars. Mm-hmm. I have food. Mm-hmm. Workout stuff. Yeah. And
overall jokes, probably. Yeah. Funny stuff.
A lot of LGBTQI stuff.
LGBTQI. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's your word, too. Yeah. All right.
It's not my word. I kind of stole it from
You stole it from somebody else? Oh, okay. Gotcha.
We can share it because we're all the same. We are all one.
Yes. There you go. All right. What you got, sis?
All right. So what I would like to talk about is another LGBTQI.
Oh, there you go.
We're going to talk about Rock Hudson's documentary.
Okay. And that just for people who don't know, if they may not have listened to another episode, LGBTQI is the LGBTQIA.
Yeah.
Okay, just to spell that out. Yes, continue.
All right. So, so this is actually on Max. It's called Rock Hudson, All That Heaven Allowed.
Oh, okay.
So this is just basically about the great actor who... he kind of hid his lifestyle from the world until, like, really just before he died. Mm-hmm. Literally just before he died.
Yeah, I think people found out that he was gay, like globally found out when they found out he had AIDS.
Yeah, because nothing was confirmed about that. Well, let me get to that.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, he is into theater and things like that. Rock Hudson's coming up. He's trying to be a big actor. He's into theater and things, and he wants to be a big time movie star. So there was a man named Henry Wilson. He was actually a gay agent, and what he would do is that he would go to the guys and he would have all the good looking guys be like, well, if you want this role, come on. Yeah. Let's go.
Yep.
So he was doing that, in exchange for them to be able to get this good role. So one of the guys who was actually talking on this documentary, because his friends are in it, it's like some friends are in it, some of his friends with benefits are in it. The guys that he had actually dated are in it, and things like that. And there's voices from people from was it Dynasty and like different shows and stuff like that. So there's voices of people like that were just talking about him.
Yeah. So it feels legit.
No, it's absolutely legit. You can tell. So with Henry Wilson, what he ended up doing was he saw Rock Hudson and he was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to sleep with that guy. I guess Rock Hudson didn't have a problem with that, because then afterwards, Henry Wilson ended up introducing him to a man named Bob Prebley. Okay, so with Bob Prebley, what ended up happening, they ended up hitting it off and moved into a 1-bedroom apartment together, but hid it from everyone. Basically. Okay. So, it just talks about him hiding his sexuality and, like all the men that he was with. Some of the guys that, like I said, are on here. Some of the guys, you can hear their voices or whatever, them talking. But the guy, Bob Prebley, was actually a man who he lived with.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So,
they were a legitimate couple.
Yes. So, with Rock Hudson being the ladies' man on screen, he was also, he had to play double roles. Yeah. He could be himself when he's at home, but when he's in public, he has to be the ladies' man, as well as he has to be the ladies' man while being a character on screen. That is too much. How did he not go insane doing that?
So, yeah, because if you're going out to dinner, you're the ladies' man.
Yes.
If you're walking down the street, you're the ladies' man.
Yeah.
If you're on stage, you're the ladies' man on screen.
But then you have to be a whole different person.
Do you know how many people live like that every day in Hollywood?
It's so stressful. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Anyway, so with that being said, it basically shows clips of him doing both roles. So you would see him as him with different actresses, and hugging, kissing on them. You see him with what's her name, Joan Crawford and Betty Davis and stuff like that. So you see him in clips like that, and we're also Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor was his best friend to the point that she started an AIDS thing for him.
Yep,
and I'll get to that. So, but with this being said, with him being out with all these people, there are voices of some women who were just like, "Oh yeah, I knew he was gay." The whole Hollywood knew he was gay, but they just couldn't prove it. And it's like Betty Davis' voice or something like that, It's somebody who's like actually an actress or like an actor or whatever. So it goes into all of that, and how they do it is that there would be, let's say that they are talking about him being in a relationship with the guy Bob, okay? And then they would clip to a movie where somebody comes up to him and was like, "Hey man, no more gay, blah 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 blah. You now have to be a married man." But they're talking gay as in happy, not gay. Yeah, like no more gay being a bachelor. Now you have to go and be a married man. But it's so funny because of the fact that then it goes into from him just talking about him being gay and who he was living with to the next thing. Oh yeah, he got married. Who did he get married to? He got married to Henry Wilson's assistant, his secretary.
Oh, woman.
Yeah. So he was like, I got to get married because it was tabloids that kept saying, like, is Rock Hudson afraid of marriage? He ended up getting married at like 29 or 30 years old. So that's what the whole thing was. He was like, all right, I got to do it. Who am I going to do it with? He does it with his agent's secretary. Now, they do have some of his friends that show pictures. So here's this one gentleman that apparently he was dating for a while. And he said that the agent and his manager said, no matter what you all do, you can never take a picture together.
Wow.
So he literally shows pictures, and you see the side-by-side pictures. It's like Rock Hudson standing at a canyon, and then on the other side of the canyon is the guy that they're talking to, who is on a whole different picture. So it looks like it's the same picture, but it's just one's on one side, one's on the other, split down the middle. So it's kind of crazy. So it was like they would be sitting and like, you'll see them sitting down like at a table, and you'll see like an elbow, and then the next picture will be the guy sitting down at the table, and you could see where his elbow would be. Yeah. So it's so you could see it like that. It was like you could never take a picture together. And then this gentleman said that they were out somewhere enjoying like the night or whatever, and a guy came up to him and was like, "Hey, can I take y'all's picture really quick? Rock Hudson being here, it's amazing." And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So the guy took his picture and was like, "Did you want to buy this?" And they said yes, because it was the only picture that they had of them together.
Wow.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
That's sad.
One picture
of like with them being together for a while. But I will tell you this, what Rock Hudson did do is once he started to be out and about more, he started to go to parties in Laguna Beach with like some guys that he knew that were also in the industry. Yeah. And with that's where all the gay guys went to, was Laguna Beach. So it was basically like him opening up a nudie magazine and just seeing.
Yeah, guys everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. This is his Sports Illustrated.
Yep.
This is it.
This is what he wanted.
Yeah. So, and he has like, he has such a great time. Like you see pictures of him with other people and stuff like that, but this is like actually out of people's personal pictures that they have from them hanging out at Laguna Beach, like with him, not thinking that they were going to be in this documentary. Just like, oh yeah, I knew him through a mutual friend. Oh yeah, I got a picture of him. He's right there with our mutual friend. Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. So later on, what ends up happening is that there is an obsession with gays in the movie business. Like when I say people are obsessed, they even started a tabloid. The tabloid was called Confidential.
Imagine that.
Yeah, Confidential.
So obsessed with outing gays?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Obsessed with outing them. So then it was like with Confidential, it was one of them that honed in on Rock Hudson, and they had over 3 million subscribers to this little. It's like the first Star, National Enquirer, things like that. It's the first one of those, and it's called Confidential. So, they just kind of honed in on him. It was just like, Rock Hudson is gay. Rock Hudson is gay. And then what happens is he goes into a interview, and the lady's like, so everybody's talking about you being gay. What do you have to say about that? He was like, I don't pay any attention to that.
Yeah.
He was like, because if I do, then that just gives them more glory. Mm-hmm. And then people were just like, oh my God, yeah, that makes so much sense. Yeah. The whole time when he's just like, I ain't telling y'all that I'm gay. Y'all gonna take my movie roles away from me.
Exactly.
What? Exactly. But then later on, what he did was he had like a handler. So he would have parties at his, like it would be at a house. And he would have parties. Yeah. And this handler would be like, I'm going to get these guys for you. And they said it would be like 20 to 40, like buff guys that either swam with swim trunks on or swam butt naked.
A lot of naked stuff going on.
And they said a lot of guys just wanted to be naked. Yeah. Let it swang. Do what you do. So, but they said that he would just kind of walk around and talk to some of the guys, but they didn't really talk about him actually being intimate with them. I don't know if it was just like for him to see them visually, because like they're all at this place. But they were telling people, hey, you want to meet Rock Hudson? All right, come on, go to this party.
This party, yeah.
So I mean that was kind of weird how he did that. But then there's also a recording of him talking to the handler, and he says, all right, so tell me about what's going on. He's like, oh yeah, I got a package here for you. No, he said, I have someone here who would love to meet you. They're about 6'4", very, very nice build, blah, 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 blah. And he starts going down the line, and then you hear Rock Hudson say, and what about the package?
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, the package, I've seen that. That's pretty good too. And then he's like, okay, yeah. And then the guy's like, all right, I'll tell him to come by on this day and this day. He's like, yeah, sounds good. All right, thanks. Blah, blah. And that's it. That was their whole
interaction.
Their whole interaction. Yeah. He had an interaction with a pimp, basically. It's basically what it sounded like. Wow. But yeah, with the recordings of that, they do have some other recordings of him actually talking from different things as well. But then it slowly goes into the AIDS epidemic, and then how with AIDS that actually people didn't know exactly what was going on. And then this is like literally the start of the AIDS epidemic, where it was like, yo, there are, 6 people in New York, 6 gay men in New York City that have this autoimmune disease. Yeah. And we don't know for sure what it is, blah, blah, blah. But, so as that's happening, Reagan actually wins being president. And when Reagan is president, Nancy Reagan and Rock Hudson are besties. Yep. So a lot of the guys who were in the video who were friends with Rock Hudson was like, the only reason he was Republican because he was friends with Nancy. Yeah. It's the only reason. So what ends up happening with that is that they're taking pictures and everything together, and he has a lesion on the back of his neck. And Nancy Reagan says, hey, I need y'all to go ahead and tell Rock that he needs to get that checked out. Like, it might be like cancer, like melanoma cancer. Or whatever. Yeah. And when he did, that's when he did find out that he had AIDS. Yeah. And he ended up telling people, and like he ended up telling his close friends, and some of his close friends was just like, oh man, this is horrible. But he was like, the only thing that I want is everybody to be silent. I don't want anybody to say anything about this. But then as time progressed, he ended up doing Dynasty. I believe it was Dynasty that he was in. Was it Dynasty? I think it was Dynasty. I can't remember. He was in Dynasty. But yeah, so he ended up doing that and going into some other shows. And he ended up being really sickly looking. He was lost a lot of weight. And then people started questioning about him. And then once he got really sick, then they actually shipped him off to France. When he was in France, he was getting some attention and everything. And then France found out that he had AIDS. They said, that's it. We don't want anything to do with AIDS being over here. It's not here. It's in the United States. Take that crap back over there.
Stay over there and don't bring it here. And we all know that is not how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like the pandemic. Everybody don't travel, but yet,
yes. So, with this happening now, one of the ladies who was like his press secretary is kind of like, what am I supposed to do? We have to get him out of here. So she had to like rent a plane in order to fly him back home. Okay. And like it was just so devastating. They had actually called, I think they wrote Reagan and was just like, hey, look, we are in France. We would like to go to the military base to be able to be there, so then we can get worked on with the U.S. doctors. Yeah. And they were just like, no, yes, that's not going to happen. And they were saying in the documentary, it was like, well, is it because of this? Because of the people that it was targeting is the reason why they were not worried about it. And was like, yeah, basically they weren't trying to help anybody out because they were just like, you're an abomination anyway. So basically they end up outing him, and with that being all in the tabloids, and I mean, it just is so sad. But then the way that things all work out, where everybody, all these different actors and actresses now start to go and to put the word out there and start putting money towards the foundations and everything, which made it great. And that's something that Elizabeth Taylor did do for him, was to make sure she had the foundation in his name, or not in his name, but one of the ones that he had put like $250,000 towards. She just kept it going and got some more celebrities too. So I think it was pretty awesome. I liked it. It's a great documentary to watch. Definitely check it out. Like I said, it's called Rock Hudson, All That Heaven Allowed, on Max.
Awesome. Can I tell you, of all things, as you started talking about this, I was like, I remember where I was when I heard that Rock Hudson had AIDS.
Really?
Because it was one of those things, it's almost like, I'm not trying to compare, but it was like with the pandemic, you were like, oh, there's a pandemic going on somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, I get
And
that,
then when you hear about something here, and then you hear about somebody who you are familiar with here that's sick. Like for me, it was Tom Hanks was the first person I heard that they were like, oh, Tom Hanks has, COVID. So you're like, oh. For some reason, those things just stick with me.
Yeah, I get that.
And so therefore, it was like, oh, there's this thing that's going around in the gay community, and, it's causing lesions and whatever. And you're
cancer
just hearing
and things,
it in general, right? And then I remember hearing, well, Rock Hudson is a famous person who has it. And I remember in my mind, and I don't even know how I knew who Rock Hudson was. It might have been from Dynasty or something like that back then. But I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that he was gay. Like, that was my original thought, because he did, I guess you're explaining this in the documentary, such a good job of hiding the fact that he was gay, not taking certain pictures, doing things behind the radar that you just don't remember. But it was so mind-boggling to me that I still, to this day, remember where I was when I heard that news, and I don't even know why. And I remember Nancy Reagan for some reason, and I don't know why in my brain I remember Nancy Reagan around this whole topic. But I can't remember why I remember her, but it sounds like because she was friends, but also it sounds like because when he really needed her or her husband or whatever is like...
Well, she couldn't do anything, and they kind of touched base on that, because they were just like, no, she was really his friend, because she constantly told Ronald Reagan, she was like, Ronnie, you got to start telling people more about AIDS, telling more people about AIDS.
But did everybody know that back then, that that's what she was telling?
I don't know about that, but I think it's because how many famous men did she know that were in the industry that were doing the same thing, possibly. Because there was a bunch of them, so it just, I don't know for sure, but it was said in the documentary.
When I tell you how devastating, for anybody who's too young to remember, it was devastating to just see the stories and to hear. I remember watching The Real World and the first season of Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro. I remember Pedro
having HIV, and then it became. It was. Yeah. Just watching it all unfold, you just felt your heart went out, to people, and you were just like, "Oh my gosh, what is it that I could be doing that I also, you had like Arthur Ashe, blood transfusion. I mean, it was just so much that wasn't known.
Yeah, it's the things that's like when, like just like with COVID, when COVID hit, nobody knew anything about it, and that's why it was just like you can't do anything. And another thing that happens in this documentary is it touches base on in Dynasty, because it was Dynasty that he was in. Yeah. He had to kiss a woman.
That's right. He had to. What's her name?
I can't remember her name. Vanessa something maybe. Maybe not Vanessa. I can't remember her name. I thought
it was not Jackie Collins. The other Collins. Oh gosh, how am I forgetting her name from Dynasty? It was her and Linda Evans.
But it was maybe it was Linda Evans. Did she have to kiss Linda Evans?
I don't think so, because I feel like she was married the whole time, if I remember. I don't know. Anyway,
but then she talks about, and they actually have her recording of her talking about it. She was like, one of his friends had said, Rock Hudson came home after this day.
Joan Collins. That's who I was trying to think of. I can't remember who he kissed. I'm going to Google it.
But it's a blonde head lady.
Oh, well, then that wouldn't have been Joan Collins, yeah.
So he came home and said that it was the worst day of his life, because what he was doing was he was just trying to peck her, and the director was not having it. He was just trying to give her like a peck kiss.
It was Linda Collins.
It was Linda
Collins?
Collins?
Yep, it was, yep.
But he was just trying to give her like a little peck kiss, and the director was like, "No, because we have seen you do intimate kisses, and this is the scene that we need." And he just would not do it. He just kept doing like small peck kisses. And then she said, looking back at that, she's like, "At the time, I did not know, but now looking back on it, I just realized that he was just trying to save me because he didn't know how to spread AIDS, and if I was going to get it."
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My goodness. Yeah. So, well, thank you for that story.
Yeah. It's very good. I definitely think that people should check it out. It's a good documentary to watch.
Okay. Well, I have next on Hulu and ABC Studios, as they say on there, because I guess ABC doesn't have its own app. It's just Hulu is ABC stuff.
Hulu got a lot of stuff going on. I'll come back to that too.
Fox, Hulu, and all that. So anyway, Betrayal, the Perfect Husband. It's a TV show that is on there. It's a 3-part series, and the story starts off, here it is. It's a woman talking about how she has a podcast about what happened in her life, and like her friend or sister or somebody, I never really got the connection, but she's like, can you believe we have one of the most popular podcasts out here, blah, 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 based on what went on in your life. And I'm like, what went on in her life? I mean, obviously, betrayal, the perfect husband, her husband betrayed her. But what in the world happened? So she starts off talking about how she was in high school. She met this guy. His name was Spencer, and they dated. And throughout high school, they were inseparable. And then he went off to college. And when she stayed at high school, she decided, you know what? I just want to be single. We're going to break up. I'm going to live my life for my senior year. He was devastated, but so be it. They didn't get back together. And later in life, she found out, okay, he got married. He had children. She went off to work. She actually worked on Judge Judy's show. She worked on, as a producer or something, she worked on America's Extreme Home Makeover, things like that, right? So she's doing all this stuff. She graduated. She's on these shows. She then reconnects with him. He reaches out to her through social media, which is what all people do. It's like, oh, I got a divorce. Let me reach out to somebody, you know? So he reached out, and he was like, hey, I'm going to be in New York City with my students from my school, because he's now a school teacher. And he's like, I'm going to be in New York City with the students. And she was like, oh, that's funny. I think my job is sending me to New York that same week. Maybe we can connect. Well, they do. They rekindle their spirits, and therefore they get married. They now live in Georgia. And she was like, he was super sweet. Like when we were married, he's leaving notes all over the house, at the coffee pot, romantic gestures, checking in on me throughout the day, making sure that I didn't need anything. Like, absolutely so sweet, to the point that her father was like, dude, you're making the rest of us look bad. Like, just stop with all of this kind of stuff. You're a good guy, but come on now. So then she's like, looking back, maybe it was a bit of love bombing, like a little bit too much, but she digresses. So therefore she says she goes on this work assignment. She comes back a day early. She was out of town. She's traveling. She comes back a day early, and she's like, okay, I usually, when I get into the driveway, he meets me at the door. He comes out. He greets me. He's not greeting me. What's going on? She walks into the house. Now, I'm thinking, because I've seen all this before. Yeah. Oh, he in the house with some chick. This is the betrayal.
Yeah, this is it.
No. He's sitting on the couch, still devastated. And she's just like, babe, what's going on? And he's like, it's all over. It's just all over. And she was like, what are you talking about? And then she starts looking around the house, and she's like, things are a little scattered. Why is that door busted off the frame?
Oh, God.
Like, what is happening? And she said, all of a sudden, police come in, and they arrest him. They arrest him. And she was just like, what is happening? And they're, you're under arrest, and they go through the Miranda rights and all of that stuff. And then she's like, what is happening? What is going on? Yeah. And he is like, don't tell her anything. Like, he's just mad. And it's like, don't tell her anything. And she's like, I'm trying to figure out, like, where is this energy coming from, and why is he saying all of this, right? Like, what is it that he doesn't want me to know? So she's like, as they're walking him out, she's like, he's a nice guy. Like, what is going on? I'm so confused. Like, he didn't, whatever you think he didn't do it. Well, let's just say he did it.
Yeah, of course.
And more. So come to find out, she's like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what's happening. So I decide, okay, I'm going to go and try to look in his laptop or whatever, using passwords, something. She comes across this folder. The folder is all of these naked pictures of women that have been sent to him specifically. So it's not like he got them offline or anything. It's like all this stuff that he got from all these different women. She then delves even deeper and finds out that he had, at any given point, 50 to 60 different conversations with various women going on at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, I don't know how he had the energy to do that and be so nice and sweet and doing all this extra little stuff for me. He was having a relationship with a 17-year-old in his school. Okay. And because of that inappropriate relationship, that is why he got arrested. So she wouldn't have known anything had this 17-year-old who
said something.
He kind of, I can't remember if this is one, because it was many girls that he was sending flirty things to, but it was like he started off, because he was a predator, so he started off gentle, you know, like, hey, you did a really good job in class today, you know, whatever, just having conversations. Somehow he ended up getting phone numbers. Then he starts texting.
He's a teacher.
And then he's like, yeah, you know, I'm miss seeing you in class today. I hope everything's okay, you know, and I love to see your smiling face, you know, just weird things that you're like, okay, an adult doesn't need to be saying certain things to a kid. And so that's what this other girl said just started happening with her, and it just got more and more and more. And she was like, and he was cute. Like, you know, all the girls at the school were like, he was cute, he was nice, he seemed friendly enough. One of the girls was like, he stopped by my job because I worked at a restaurant, and he like came in and gave me a hug, and she said, and I know he sniffed me. Like, I couldn't really, she was like, I can't tell, like, I couldn't tell then. Like, I was just like, oh, that's weird. Did he just sniff me? And then she was like, but he's a nice guy. Like, that wouldn't have happened. And then after everything comes out, she was like, he did sniff me. I know that's what he did.
That's weird.
Just so weird stuff. And so basically, she's finding all of these different things out about her husband. It is insane the amount of things that he was having going on at the same time. And meeting with women, engaging in crazy behavior, talking to different girls at the school. Only one seems to have taken him up on his offer, and they ended up having a relationship, which I think he waited until the day after she turned 18 or something. And then, you know, so it was like all of these crazy scenarios going on. And the whole, you know, 3-part documentary is just about her going down this path of finding out how completely horrible her husband was, and the things that she was like, I literally had no clue. Like, I did not know. He was so amazing at covering everything up. Like, I don't know.
Because he did so much extra that you're not paying attention to the little things.
That must be it. Yeah.
So love bombing.
Yep. She was completely shocked. And she just, you know, said that as she did her podcast and more women were finding out about it, they were like, yeah, I dated him. Are you okay with me coming on the podcast and telling my story? And then another one, oh, are you okay? So as you're looking at the documentary, you're hearing the voices of the women who were all involved, and you get to see the 17, 18-year-old and her new journey of where she's going now in regards to her life and everything. And then he's in prison, like, basically not having any ownership. Basically exactly. Basically just like, you know, well, I just don't understand why she decided to do X, Y, and Z. And, you know, I just, you know, like, he's the victim. Basically, like, that's what he's trying to tell his wife, to the point that, I mean, she ex-wife now, but she said she hadn't talked to him in like 5 years. I can't remember how long he's been in prison, but she called him like kind of just trying to get information for the documentary, and the calls are recorded and all of that. And so you're just hearing his just narcissistic behavior, and he's just, you know, to the point that it's like the girl has said, I'm just going to keep going to parole hearings to say he better not get out, because if he does, he's going to do this again, because he hasn't learned any lessons.
Yeah, but then also you don't know if any of these women have snapped and are like ready to headhunt him or something, you know?
Potentially, yeah, that's true. He might need to worry. Well, actually, he is out now. I forgot. At the end of the documentary, they said he is out. He is living with a family member. He is on the sexual registry, for the area that he's living in and things of that nature. They haven't said anything about, anything new that has popped up, but I guess he quote unquote served his time, but they're just like, it's just a matter of time. God, just because of him and who he is. But yeah, so it was an interesting documentary, very dark, very twisted, but at the same time it's like it would be good for, it's almost like maybe episode 2 would be good for young girls in high school to watch.
Oh yeah, so they can see,
that way they can see the grooming.
Yeah, exactly.
And be able to pick up on those behaviors so that way they can just say, ooh, if somebody starts talking to me this way as an adult, this is not okay, not cool, and it's not appropriate. So, but anyway, so again, that is on Hulu, Betrayal, The Perfect Husband.
All right.
3-part series. All right, what you got?
All right, so for my second one, I got They Clone Tyrone.
They Clone Tyrone.
You know they done clone Tyrone. Clone them. Oh my God. So yeah, this movie, let me tell you something. It makes you think. This is the best black horror movie ever made.
Really?
This is in the realm of Get Out.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
This is like in that realm.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, I mean it's like that. But I mean, you have to watch it and not think about the movie, but think about like what's going on in the world.
In the world.
Oh, okay, my God, gotcha. It's so deep. All right, man. I mean, when I say it's so good. All right, so it's on Netflix. Like I said, it's called They Clone Tyrone.
Yeah.
And it does have a lot of people in it. So the main one, hopefully I don't butcher his last name, but we got John Boyega.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we got John Boyega. He is Fontaine, who is Tyrone.
Tyrone. Oh, he's Tyrone. Okay, yeah, got it.
So we have Fontaine, and then we have Jamie Foxx plays Slick Charles.
Oh, he's slick with it.
Yeah,
okay.
He's a pimp.
Got it.
He's slick with it. He's a pimp. And one of his hoes is Yo-Yo, who is played...
The way you're saying it is funny.
That's what it is. It was played by Teyana Paris. Now, the villain in this, because I didn't say pro or antagonist because I always mess it up, but the villain is Kiefer Sutherland.
The antagonist is Kiefer Sutherland. I love Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland.
And here I thought he was just doing that rabbit one, the rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, but yeah, with this,
cloning Tyrone.
His voice, like I didn't even know he was in the movie. I just heard his voice, and I was like, "That's Kiefer."
Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah, you could tell his voice from a mile away.
David Allen Greer is in here as a preacher, hilarious, but he's not really like in it a lot. But you see him. Mm-hmm. And let me try to think of who else is good. Oh, J. Alphonse Nicholson, who plays Isaac, who is a drug lord in this. But you know him from, people would know him. He is the rapper Lil Murder from off of P Valley.
Don't know that.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't see P Valley, but yeah. So the gist of this. This is a sci-fi movie, but I said it's a black horror film. Okay. So I would say when you watch this, pay attention to the homeless man. Pay attention to the homeless man because he has the knowledge. And there was some people that had actually broken it down like later on after I watched the film. I was trying to get some more understanding about it, and people were talking about, how they basically dissected it. And the homeless man, they call him Frog. And usually when you're seeing anything when it comes to sci-fi, usually if it's a frog, it's usually if it's a frog, it's somebody who has wisdom. Mm-hmm. So basically, that's that. I like how they kind of did that with that. Pay attention to the homeless man because he got all the knowledge.
Okay.
The knowledge. So Slick Charles, being a pimp, he's standing there. He's in a motel. He's talking to one of his ladies. His bottom B, and Fontaine shows up because Fontaine's like, bro, you're supposed to have my money. You don't have my money. Mm-hmm. So Fontaine's going through all the stuff, pulls it out, gets the money. He was just like, all right, I'm out. Gets in the car, and then there ends up being a big scene where like a shootout scene.
Okay.
Yeah. So somebody is unalived. Mm. Then from there, the next day, what happens? The dude wakes up. He's not dead. He wakes up, and he was like, oh, that was a bad dream. Now he goes back to Slick Charles.
Yeah.
Where's my money? And Slick was like, oh no, sweet baby Jesus done roll the stone away. Like, he goes so into it. He was like, you was just here. What are you doing here again? So then that's when he's just like, that's when Fontaine actually starts thinking about it, like, bro, I was not here. Then he was like, let's go talk to my hoe Yo-Yo. They go to Yo-Yo, and Yo-Yo was like, oh yeah, I mean, duh, yeah, I saw you. Like, but she talks about a whole nother event where he had died. So now it's like, oh, you seen him die and you seen him die. And then she was like, yeah, I saw you, and then they put you in this car over here, and then they drove over to this way, and I know it because, and they have the funniest name for some of these Johns. But she was like, yeah, because, you know, Thursday John that I see every Tuesday. What?
What is that? Yeah.
But so with him doing that, with her doing that, she's like, look, at this house down here, that's where the cars park, and they go into the house, and then that's when they see what is actually happening. So that's when it really gets into the nitty gritty, and you learn so much. You figure out some things, but I mean, some things are still kind of like left open, but you start to figure out some things. But I don't want to talk no more about it because it's gonna like. But it is good, man. What I tell you, look, watch it and then think about Popeye's chicken sandwich. That's all I'm gonna have to say. Watch it and think about Popeye's chicken sandwich and all that craziness that happened around Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Yeah, I didn't Everybody was fighting. The height of it.
And then it was nasty. It's a nasty sandwich. But people was just, oh my God.
I even had it in the United States. I only ate it out of the country. I ate it in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I ate it in the United States, and then I was like, well, I don't want any more of this.
Yeah, why do you need to keep?
The chicken is better than the chicken breast patty thing that they have. So, but yeah, watch They Clone Tyrone. It is a horror movie. You'll have nightmares. Maybe, I don't know, but no, it's a really good movie. It is a good movie.
I might have to check it out. So it's a movie, not a series. Got it. I didn't realize that it was a movie. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good. You got to pick up on the little things. You got to really pay attention. You got to pay attention. You better watch.
Don't be looking at TikTok or Instagram or Facebook.
No, don't look at Put your phone away, down. Put it on sleep mode. Whatever you got to do, watch it, and you can dissect it, and then you can go on YouTube and like figure out little like tidbits and stuff like that. Some reviews, breakdowns, and explanations. Okay. So They Clone Tyrone, Netflix, check it out.
All right. Well, I'm going to go really quick for my third one, just because we are getting ready to run out of time.
I talked a lot. Sorry.
No, I talked a lot. It's hey. It's what we do.
It's good.
It's all good. It's all good. All right. So I'm just going to go through a couple of hot topics.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have rest in peace, Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
She passed away this past week. No news in regards to what happened after her passing away, but she did, and her family is just, saying to give them privacy in regards to that. And she was, known for singing or doing a cover of Prince's Nothing Compares to You. And so she, that kind of made her, because it was just like her singing to a screen with her bald head, like her shaved head. I guess it wasn't completely bald. And she also tore up a picture of the Pope. And she did that on the Saturday Night Live, which was a huge controversy because she was talking about all of the predatory behavior within the Catholic Church. With the priests and the young, boys and things like that, long before anybody else was. And so she was kind of shunned after doing that for the most part. But anyway, so Sinead O'Connor passed away. You have Bronny James. LeBron James' son, Bronny James, had a cardiac arrest on the basketball court at the University of Southern California. He had just gotten there. He just got drafted to play there. I guess it's drafted for college.
South Carolina? Recruited.
He was recruited. Yeah, there you go.
You should know this word.
Yeah, I was thinking for the NBA draft, and then for high school to college, it's recruited. But so I think it was Southern California.
Oh, Southern California. I thought it was
it might be South Carolina. I don't know. It was a USC. There's two. They're both.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how many USCs are there in the United States? I think it's 3.
I don't know. So he is doing better. He is, had a cardiac episode, and to the point that his heart stopped, and they took care of him, revived him, all of that right there. And they took him to the university hospital, where they even did, more to make sure that they could take care of him. So LeBron's statement, we feel Very grateful. I want to thank the countless people sending my family love and prayers, and that he is doing great. So just to follow up with that. The other thing is aliens. The government is going to release documentation about the proof of alien activity in the world. And so they're like, look, it's not going to be green men. It's not going to be spaceships, but we are going to release some information to let you all know that alien activity and behaviors have existed. And so, there's been ancient alien TV shows and things of that nature forever. So, it's just making sure that they are being transparent. And I can't even guarantee that everybody will be 100% transparent, but a little bit. And then lastly, Carlee Russell. It was all a lie. Yeah. We were talking about it last week, and we were saying that we, hey, could be not. And, she basically did it for the attention of a guy. There also are memes or something going around where Kevin Hart actually had video of him talking about in his comedy skit about a little baby on the side of the road, and how he was like, "What you doing on the side of the road, little baby?" And all this kind of stuff, And so based on that, everybody is like, so was she looking at something from Kevin Hart and then said, "Oh, I'm going to come up with this thing about being on the side of the road," and supposedly she's trying to be on the phone with the police saying that she's following this baby on the side of the road, but they said she went 6 football fields so
600
the length
yards.
of 6 football fields, and they're like, what kind of speed baby was that she was beside? So it was a hoax. She wasn't kidnapped. She, basically did it for the attention of a gentleman who he was just like, I'm just mortified and just disgusted in regards to her doing something like this. So I hope this does not put a hindrance or a black mark against any other women of color who go missing and truly are going missing to the point that this isn't taken as seriously as it should be. So those were some of the hot topics that I wanted to cover this week, sis.
All right. Well, let me do this one really quick. Okay. Now, this is a parental advisory. It's not anything super bad, but it's about a song. So that chick, Angel. So she actually got a record label. She got a record deal.
She did get a record deal
from her song
that she made
the
up.
Margarita
it feels like
song.
On the spot.
She made up on the podcast.
Yep,
yes.
That chick Angel.
So this is actually what the song is actually derived from.
This is going to be more.
No, this is what it came
original.
from, and then this is all the original. So let me get into this.
Here we go.
One margarita, she will spread her legs. When I heard it, I said, this sounds like a rap song. Give me a beat, Kev. This sounds like a rap song. Here we go. Hey, hey. Give me 1 margarita, I'ma open my legs. Give me 2 margaritas, I'ma give you some head. Give me 3 margaritas, I'ma put it in my puss. Give me 4 margaritas, I'ma put it in my tush. Give me 5 margaritas, I'ma have some fun. Give me 5 margaritas, I'ma put it in your bun.
So that's actually Kev on stage and that chick Angel, and they are talking about how she actually made the song. And it was just so funny. She said she saw the video and just thought it sounded like a song. And that was it. Song. And now she has a music video out. It's over 10 million streams on I think Spotify, and it's all over social media. It is everywhere. She got a record label. She got a record deal. I mean, that's awesome though, because the black lady sketch show
comedy show.
Yeah, it got canceled.
Oh, it did. Okay.
So now she got a record label. She got a little thing.
Was she on that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not the first season. I only watched the first season.
She was on the last season.
Okay,
she was on the last season. But
yeah.
So then that way, she still got, a little income.
That girl,
coming in. That chick, Angel. I like the way she says it on the podcast. Yeah.
So there you go. There you have it, everyone. Thank you for listening this week to Sestra-Tainment. We hope you have an amazing week to come. Take care.
Bye.